Hey everyone, welcome to another Anime Kingdom review. See by the title below, yes, this is on episode 11 of Steins Gate Zero, and holy crap, honestly, this episode, I loved it so much. Between the soundtrack, between the story of where everything is going, to the ending, which is crazy considering this is actually the first episodes that we have had in, actually, I think, just period in Steins Gate Zero so far, that there is no cliffhanger. But that's what makes the cliffhanger. In the original Steins Gate series, when I had watched it and everything, obviously one of the big things that a lot of people kind of complain about at first is that Steins Gate, it starts off pretty slow. Steins Gate Zero so far has been pretty, different for me because I've actually loved it so far since the beginning. But I love the way this episode goes in making it that the ending just seems like everything's all good. There's no huge cliffhanger that's dropping us with like a holy crap, what's going to happen next? But we know, since considering the fact is you're not going to be watching Steins Gate Zero unless you've watched Steins Gate. So we know episode 12 and the way they made this episode, pretty much feel and go out. Episode 12, in my opinion, is the moment where everything just boom, just blows up. We're at the top of the roller coaster at the moment in episode 11, and everything's just going to go down here. Everything's just going to go crazy in episode 12 and after that and everything. And honestly, I don't know if my heart can take it. I really do not. Like, I'm so scared on what's going to happen because we've already seen moments throughout the series so far where it's just like heartbreaking in certain parts. But now it's just going to be a never-ending assault on our feels, or a never-ending assault on just how many things are literally going to blow up at this point. Because in this episode, everything is just building up to what's going to happen. Sure, the very ending makes it seem like everything's all good. But, if you've watched Steins Gate, which I'm pretty sure you have, considering you, like I said before, you wouldn't be watching Steins Gate Zero unless you had watched the original. We all know that this isn't the ending yet, so things are going to get worse before they get better. And I think there's like 23 episodes in the season, so we are only hitting that halfway point, just like the original Steins Gate. And oh my gosh, this is the point where, like I said, things are just going to go way out of hand, honestly. But yeah, let's talk about the beginning. Obviously, the first big thing was, of course, who is the contact that Maho is using to pretty much try and get into Kurisu's laptop. At first you think, is it an enemy? Is this person trustworthy? I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure he's trustworthy considering it's Daru and everything. He's got a dang, secret hideout. Go in the store, behind the clothes, there's a secret entrance kind of thing. He's got cameras everywhere. I was like, geez, yeah, I bet Daru would have this kind of stuff. And that's not even his only one. He says that he's got, several others. That was his favorite, though, or one of his favorite, at least. And I'm just like, geez, it'd be pretty cool if they end up implementing that in, the rest of the series as well, of them trying to hide from their enemies. Obviously, at the moment, it seems like everything's good towards the end. Oh yeah, everything's all good since the laptop's destroyed. Yeah, I don't think that's how everything's gonna be. But obviously, one of the things that had happened in this episode is something that I've been wondering when it was gonna happen for a while. It is, of course, when Okabe finally decides to tell Maho all the information of what's going on. And I'm thinking, from what I've seen people in the forums talk about this before, and it's something I've been thinking about as well, and it's on the fact that Suzuha never talks about Maho in the future. So it kind of gets you thinking, what happens to Maho? Does she die way before? Obviously, things have changed considering the fact that Okabe is deciding to now change things in this point, when normally he wouldn't do that in this world line and everything, so it should be interesting to see how things, now that he's trying to do it now, impacts and changes things. For example, for a character like Maho, who normally, I'm guessing, maybe probably dies before this, or maybe later on. I don't know, she may be able to live this time instead, since he's changing things up and everything, but obviously, yeah, like I said, he finally tells her everything. Obviously, the big impact was her going to be trying to figure out, she obviously wants to save Kurisu. Okabe knows how that road ends and everything, so of course it's very hard for her to make that decision. But unfortunately, that decision is pretty much, well, she does say, yeah, destroy it, but that decision is kind of a little too late, considering the fact is, I'm not too sure who's being tracked, but one of them are being tracked, either Okabe or most likely Maho, something on her person maybe. something's being tracked, or maybe it was the laptop. I have no idea, honestly, but they somehow are getting tracked. A bunch of guys start walking up. It's those guys that had attacked them at the lab before, and they of course walk in. I love how that one person is like looking directly in the camera. I'm like, okay, yeah, they definitely know we're in here. And of course, Daru's got like a dang secret exit, of course. Goes behind, they even go outside the building tops across, like using like a I don't know, like a piece of metal or something that he had around, and they just go across the building. They go down into an alleyway, and guess what? Yeah, you're not safe yet, as they end up getting caught. And this is the part that gets kind of crazy and kind of like, honestly, for an anime watcher only, I've never, played Steins Gate Zero, the visual novel, read the visual novel before, so I didn't really know what was going on. It turns out that one of these people, this group, like they had said before, is most likely America, and then threw on some names that I'm not really too sure. I was like Derpa and Stratfor. I'm not too sure if that was even in the original Steins Gate. It might have been, but it's been so long that I've watched it that kind of just goes over my head. But that is one of the things that group is obviously trying to get the research and everything. But the Russians come in to stop that. Now, this is what I don't understand. If this whole thing obviously is to get the time machine and get the information and everything, why would the Russians try and just completely destroy it instead of try to take it? Wouldn't they want the information that is on that laptop? Because, of course, yes, they shoot them and everything, but the laptop was actually dropped down to the ground. They could have taken it, but instead, the guy just goes up to it and just shoots it and destroys it. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't really make sense to me, but obviously something's probably going to get crazier in the next one, and maybe there's another way to get that information, and they just rather not have that possibility, so the Russians end up just destroying it, I guess. I'm not too sure. And that, of course, leads us to something else later on in the episode, to which is, who is this person that is attacking them? We already know it's not Moeka because we saw her hand and everything, because the person was shot in the hand. And of course, there's two damn big suspects in this. One of them, I'm pretty sure, like, this one I'm like really iffy on, and that of course is Yuki. They show her, and she has a wound on her hand, and she says she nicked her hand with a knife or something. I don't know about that. That seems kind of just like, really? Is that really what happened? But what I think is, that's kind of just a ploy to just, make us think that it's her, though it still may be her. My eyes are set on Judy. We saw her hands underneath like a blanket or something on the plane. What is even the point of showing her? It could also be that she's actually the ploy to drive our eyes to this way while it actually is Yuki. But honestly, I'm still thinking it's Judy. I still think the professor as well has something in this. I'm not too sure how or what, but it just seems so like, he just seems way too friendly. He always disappears at these certain times and everything. And I don't know, I'm thinking that it's him, the professor and Judy, that are working together somehow on this and everything. And obviously, I'm not too sure, maybe even Maho is behind this. I'm pretty sure she's not, just because of her connection with Kurisu and everything. But maybe she's unwillingly being used by the professor along those lines. I don't know. It just seems like everything is pointing towards the professor and pointing towards Judy. Though I may be wrong, and it may be Yuki. I don't know. It's just some crazy... One person got shot in the hand. Got her in the hand. And there's two people with wounds. So I'm not too sure on who the hell it is. It would be pretty crazy if it was Yuki. Honestly, when the Yuki part happened, that part I was just like amazed. Like, I paused it and I was like... Holy crap. Is it really her? Is it really the one person I did not think it possible? But then of course they showed the Judy one and I'm like, oh, okay. Now I'm just confused, honestly, But nonetheless, that part was like, I guess I would say that part is the cliffhanger of the episode, because you're wondering who was the person that was trying to take the information and everything on the laptop. It makes sense it was Judy too, because she ends up leaving the country after as well, and it seems just like, why would she be leaving at that time? Obviously it's because she failed her mission, kind of thing, definitely a possibility, but yeah, nonetheless, crazy shit happened right there and everything. But in between that, obviously, it was a much more, I guess, lighter tone. I always love when an anime kind of does this, where it has a moment where they're pretty much, it's super serious, everything is life-threatening, everything is like, holy crap, what's going to happen next? And then you have this funny trope, for example, obviously Maho, somehow she loses, like, you know, the ability to move pretty much. Ferris runs in there, starts screaming that something's wrong. Okabe comes running in, and her towel falls and everything, you know. And I was just like, oh my gosh, was this really in it? I'm not too sure if that's like an anime original thing, but honestly, I thought it was good. It was a good way to kind of catch you off guard and kind of lighten the mood a little bit. But of course, you get thrown back in with a very emotional moment between Maho and Okabe as they talk about everything and how Maho pretty much, like, at first, you know, her relationship with Kurisu and everything, and her kind of, you know, she like, there's so many moments when she was just wanting to look into the laptop and everything, but obviously it shows how much she does care for her and everything, since she, like, was crying over just, like, the broken piece of the laptop, since she failed her and everything like that. So that's why I definitely don't think that if the professor is in on this and he is one of the, like, main antagonists or something, I'm pretty sure Maho is being used, and that's probably going to be something that we see later on as well, to which I'm still kind of confused on how they're going back to America, right? So what, like, are we going to be moving to America, or are they somehow not really leaving and the professor does something? I don't know, it's kind of confusing me on that point, but obviously that was like some big moments there. She even kind of, you know, we've already seen and known that Maho has feelings for Okabe, and this one kind of like solidified it even more. Obviously it was very heartbreaking probably for her when she says, you know, did they have some, you know, what was, you know, the relationship between him and Kurisu, obviously, and obviously he couldn't answer that. That's because we know the answer and she knows it as well. But after you get an airport scene, the professor once again seeming way too nice, and I just don't trust him. And then of course we get our goodbye farewells to Amadeus, and oh my gosh, that part just broke my heart. When he's like, how many times have I said goodbye? I was just like, oh man, yeah, it's probably heart-wrenching that he has to say goodbye once again. Then there was the moment where she's like, I hope that one day you could just, like, you know, have a really good laugh kind of thing, be able to laugh, because obviously, yeah, probably from her view, he's just like frowning all the time. But I mean, considering what he's been through, it makes sense, obviously. But oh man, there ain't gonna be any laughs anytime soon, especially considering that episode 12 is probably gonna be the way down, just like woo, until finally episode, maybe like the last episode, will get hopefully a happy ending. I'm not too sure how Steins Gate Zero even ends, considering this is like an alternate kind of thing. Is it like a bittersweet ending? Is everything end up good? Because I'm still wondering, like, I don't know, is Kurisu just dead for sure in this timeline? He's not going to try and change it? Or is things possible that we get to a certain way that he somehow changes it? I don't know. Obviously he plans on not using the time machine at all, so I don't think that's possible. So in my book, that's always going to be like a bittersweet ending. Just, oh man, I don't know how that's going to take, because at least with the original Steins Gate, it ended and I was at least happy with what we got. We were able to get that perfect timeline, you know, that perfect world line and everything, and I love that ending. But I have a feeling Steins Gate Zero is definitely going to be much more of a bittersweet ending, and I don't know how I feel about that, considering we're going to go straight downhill, and then I guess instead of going up like with Steins Gate, the original Steins Gate ending, instead we're just going to go down and then just stay at like a flat surface, and it's good because it's not going downhill anymore, but it ain't going up either. Something like that I'm pretty sure is going to happen. But yeah, that's all I really got to say, guys. This episode, honestly, it definitely was a roller coaster of certain events and certain things that happened from the very beginning of just, actually, you know what, it wasn't even, yeah, it was a roller coaster. I would say it was a roller coaster because the beginning has you like, holy crap, what's gonna happen? Oh shit, things are going bad. And then you have this moment where things are still going bad. But then of course you have this light moment and it's kind of like, oh, okay, that's kind of funny. It goes down a little bit more. Then it goes up. Sure, there's a sad moment with Amadeus, but it kind of like still good. Everything seems all good. Everyone's leaving. Everything's like okay, and nothing's going bad. And then you're over here, and it's go boom once it hits episode 12. You know, but yeah, obviously we're gonna have to wait for next week on that one. And honestly, man, I am so excited for it because things are gonna get crazy, but I'm so scared and like my heart can't take it right now, man. I don't know if my heart can take the feels that are about to happen in everything, you know, where everything just blows up in these next coming episodes. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this Anime Kingdom review. If you have any questions, feel free to comment below. If there's anything else you want to talk about, comment below as well. And if you did enjoy, don't forget to leave a like. If you haven't already, feel free to subscribe for more content. As always, guys, I want to hear your guys' thoughts. How do you feel about this? Anime watchers only, do you feel the same as I do? Are you excited and scared for the next one? Good, bad, whatever you guys want to talk about, feel free to comment below. And of course, people who have read the visual novel, how did this episode go? Where there's a lot, you know, where there are a lot of anime original things. I'm still kind of confused on, you know, what is anime original and what's not, considering the fact that we've had episodes already that is anime original, but they've been good. So I just want to know, is it still being done good, if there is anime original stuff, and of course, how was everything adapted, and just whatever you guys want to talk about, good or bad, obviously without spoilers. If you do want to put spoilers, please of course do the skip 4 lines thing, so you have to click read more if someone wants to see that spoiler, because obviously with how things are going right now, I definitely do not want to be spoiled, you know. But yeah, that's all I really gotta say, guys. So till next time, see ya.